That's how they said it, calm, satisfied, as if they were finally disposing of a burden they'd carried too long. My parents stood in the doorway of the study, smug smiles sitting on their faces like expensive masks. I didn't flinch. I didn't breathe. I simply looked at them and said, "That's interesting," because it was. Especially since grandmother's real fortune, the one none of them knew existed, was hidden exactly where they'd never dared to look, inside my hands. Growing up, they trained me to believe loyalty was a one-direction highway. I gave, they took. I achieved, they claimed. They groomed me to be the perfect asset, polished and obedient, the kind of daughter who didn't ask questions. And Marcus? Marcus was the golden boy they wished they'd had instead of me. My half-brother. My replacement. The new heir they paraded at every gathering after grandmother died. He was charming, I'll give him that. A soft voice, quick wit, the kind of smile that hid shark teeth. For a while, I believed his friendliness was genuine, until the day he slipped and called me the placeholder. That was the day I stopped believing in family, and the day I started paying attention. It began with little things, emails disappearing, my inheritance lawyer suddenly too busy to take my calls, my parents insisting on group meetings whenever money was discussed, Marcus hanging around their room late at night, doors shut, voices low. Then I found the ledger, a single mistake in an otherwise flawless scheme, a printed transfer list left in the guest room drawer after Marcus stayed over. Every asset, every trust, every bond grandmother had supposedly left to me quietly rerouted into accounts under Marcus's family name. They'd been stealing piece by piece for 11 months. But it wasn't the theft that stung. It was the confidence, the certainty that I wouldn't notice or couldn't fight back. That was the moment the hurt turned to clarity. I didn't argue, didn't confront, didn't scream. I smiled, listened, documented everything. People underestimate silence. It's the most dangerous weapon in a room full of liars. Grandmother always said, "The one who watches quietly owns the ending." And she was right, because they never knew about her second will, the real one. The one she wrote for me alone, stored in her private vault, protected by a lawyer who hated my parents enough to keep every secret airtight. A fortune not in cash, but rights. Ownerships, authorizations, veto powers, estate control. They took the visible money. The crumbs, I owned the structure beneath it. It took one call to activate everything they thought they'd eliminated. Step 1, freeze all estate-linked accounts. Step 2, file a fraud report with timestamps proving intentional transfer without beneficiary consent. Step 3, trigger grandmother's sealed codicil that automatically removed anyone involved in misconduct from receiving any inheritance. Marcus wasn't just removed, his entire family was disowned retroactively. My parents weren't just cut out, they became legally classified as having abused their fiduciary role. And the money? Frozen, seized, reassigned. To me. Not because I asked for it, but because the law followed the paper trail they were stupid enough to leave. That's interesting, I repeated, stepping closer, letting them taste the calm I'd sharpened into a blade. My father frowned. What's that supposed to mean? I placed the documents on the table. Court orders, revocation notices, estate rulings. Their signatures, exposed as fraudulent. Their transfers, reversed. Their access, terminated. My mother skimmed one page and went pale. My father skimmed the next and sat down. Marcus, silent until now, took one look at the disinheritance clause with his name stamped across it and stumbled back like I'd struck him. You planned this?" he whispered. "No," I said softly. "You planned your downfall. I just let you." Their guilt folded in on them, thick and suffocating. They looked at me like they were meeting me for the first time, not as their daughter, but as their reckoning. As I reached the door, my mother cried out, "Victoria, wait! We can fix this!" I paused, not to reconsider, just to breathe in the moment I'd earned. "You replaced me," I said quietly, "but you forgot something." They watched me with hollow eyes. I was never competing with Marcus. I opened the door. I was replacing you. Their silence behind me felt like closure. Not revenge, just balance restored. And as I stepped into the hallway, free, unburdened, unstoppable, I realized something deeper. They didn't lose the fortune, they lost me.